Welcome back. This is Douglas Dennis. This is Crypto Technical Analysis. It was the daily doji, but I haven't been doing them daily. So today, by request of my group member Josh, we're going to do Elliott Wave counts for Bitcoin, Doge, SHIB, and XRP. If you don't know what XRP is, you'll find out in a minute. Okay, so I just recorded this video for like 40 minutes and it didn't save. So this is take 2 and hopefully will be more concise. All right, and if you want more info, I have a lot of other videos. So I talked about Elliott Waves in my other videos. I also started another channel for live streaming, which I haven't been using. I'm going to do them on this channel. But if you do want to see some of my explanations of corrections and Elliott waves, I'm not going to go into detail like I just did in my deleted 40-minute video because I already talked about it more than once in my old videos. Alright, so this is pretty much the count that I had. It was something like this, but then, and I did have something drawn here, an ABC correction, because this is one of the possible shapes. Now, I don't know exactly where it's going to land. It could even go... It could go all the way down to the top of this previous wave. It could go all the way back and test that. And if it did, you know, this would be this. It's the same wave. Also, this could be finished. It could have been an ABC like that. You can see ABC corrections like this. There's only a few different shapes corrections can make. So it can give you a lot of predictive power. I was complaining in the last take of this video about how everyone on Twitter and on social media is saying that technical analysis is dumb and that you can't predict anything and that no one knows anything and that no one can predict what's going to happen next. Well, speak for yourself, you clueless idiots, because there are people predicting well. Now, Elliott waves aren't 100% foolproof, but they do give you a lot of predictive power because there's only so many different shapes it can make. There's not an infinite amount of patterns. There's only a few. So if you know them, you'll have a huge edge over everyone else. It's been very apparent to me in this last year especially. I've been doing Elliott waves for 5 years, and I've been publicly posting videos. I did do some the whole time, but I've been really posting the most about them in the last year. Here's one more possible shape it could be that I just realized earlier today. A, B, C, D, and E would be somewhere around here. It could go down to here too. Yes, this is a possible corrective shape. It is pretty common. And look at this back here, what happened in 2017. If you don't think that corrections are possible, however, I thought this was an A, B, C, and might be done or might be finishing off the C wave. The reason I thought that is because the correction from 2017 lasted all the way until, lasted 3 years about. So in Elliott waves, when you have a 5-wave impulse, let's say like this, 1, let's say wave 2 was really long like this one was, to wave 3, wave 4, and wave 5. Wave 1 and 4 cannot overlap. They can't. If they overlap, it is not a bull market. So this is what a bull market looks like. But the reason I made this one right here, wave 2 is long as far as the time frame, and wave 4 is short and deep, because usually they alternate. Every bull market has 2 big corrections. Also, every wave has subwaves. The subwaves of a 5-wave correction are 5, 3, 5, 3, 5, usually. So there's your beginner's lesson to Elliott waves that I said I wouldn't do. This one, 1, 2, 3. See how that's a 3-wave sideways? And this one I had counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at some point. I had the detail. You have to zoom in and into the shorter time frames to be able to see the little details. But this sideways action right here, 1, 2, 3, looks like it could be done. It could be. Now it looks like it wants to touch off of this 200 moving average, but to be fair, it did come close on the weekly chart. And on the daily chart, it's under the 200 moving average still. So it's a bear market if you're going off of the moving averages. When it's underneath the 200, it's a bear market, basically. That's one way to consider. But see how these are subwaves, are all overlapping, and all the price action? This is not bull market type stuff. Even this wave right here was not a bull market. It wasn't. It was not. No way. It is a counter trend wave inside of a correction. Just like, to show you an example, back here, way back here in the 2017, this wave right here, this B wave, was not a bull market. It was same thing that this big wave up right here is not a bull market. Though the corrections don't go straight down. They go sideways and they zigzag all around. In fact, one type of correction is called a zigzag. But this one is not technically a zigzag. A zigzag looks like this. It is an ABC, but it looks more like that, where the B wave doesn't come up all the way, especially all the way to a new all-time high. This type of correction, if this ends up being the bottom, either here or somewhere around here, down here, this is called an expanded flat, which means this B wave wrecked everyone as a bull trap. Let me repeat, this wave was not a bull market. Hello? People online are making fun of me and ridiculing me and stuff about Elliott waves, and they're just embarrassing themselves. I'm not embarrassed. When someone makes fun of me for something and then I end up being right and they don't know anything, it's just kind of, it's pitiful almost. But anyway, enough enough of that. I don't have much of an ego, so I mean, I don't rub it in people's faces. But people do like to make fun of me for stepping outside the box every time. Oh, by the way, this zigzag, the interior waves, the subwaves are 5. And then 1, 2, 3 is the middle one, and then 5 again. Something like that. So there is a method to this madness, and it's all based on human psychology. Because humans are predictable, it's Mother Nature. Elliott, who created Elliott Wave Principle, he was tracking nature, the progression of nature. He noticed it didn't always progress forward. It would go 5 steps forward, 3 steps back, which is also the basis of Tao theory. So the people online, again, saying that there's no way to know what's going to happen next, are totally ignorant. Because there are ways, now even though they're not 100% foolproof, there are ways to gauge what's going on and give you some predictive power. Now, I'm not a financial advisor, and I'm not recommending you to buy or sell at all. So trade at your own risk. I'm just recommending learning Elliott waves because it's fascinating. Most people are trading without even knowing them. Personally, I would not be trading if I wouldn't have learned Elliott waves. That's just me. All right, so we saw some possible outcomes for Bitcoin. The way we'll be able to tell if this is over is if we start seeing 5-wave patterns going up without any overlap between wave 1 and 4. And let's move on to Doge. Okay, so in my previous take of this video, I explained how Doge looked like it had a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up already, which ended in May 21. And then you can obviously see it's been correcting then, that whole time. This has been a huge correction. This is easier to see than Bitcoin. See, with Bitcoin, this middle wave faked people out because they don't understand Elliott waves at all and don't know what corrective patterns look like. But in Doge, that wave here, yeah, some people thought it was a new bull market, but I said, no, it isn't, no, it isn't, no, it isn't. How did I know that it isn't? Well, because there's no 5-wave pattern. There was just overlap the whole time. Like, I was tuned into this all the way up here, and by the way, I had called that months prior. So then, is this sideways action one wave? Like that? And then it started a new correction again. The last part of the correction. And I think that we've got another wave down. I think there was resistance around 9 or 10 cents. Someone out there was calling for 5 cents or something. But it's possible. I'm not saying I want that to happen. Is it possible that this was the bottom? I don't think so. It's possible, but it doesn't look right to me. And I've been pretty accurate with Doge, so I'm really expecting another wave down. I'm not sure if it'll hit 10 or if it will spike all the way down to 5, but really there's nothing stopping it other than this previous action way back here, which was around like 8 or 9 cents, I think. So that's kind of where I thought it was going to go. But if this was a 5 wave up, it could come back all the way down to almost 0 and then start another wave up. So just because it goes down doesn't mean it's dead or something. It just means nature is progressing. You know, big wave up, and then it consolidates. Wave 2 can come down all the way back to the bottom almost. And then wave 3, I would expect to be massive and be really exciting. But, you know, we'll see how patient people are. We're getting near the end, it seems. But the thing about corrections that can be annoying, not only can they do double corrections, you can also have triple corrections. And there's all kinds of mathematics involved where as the corrections get longer and longer, less people are trading and there's less volatility. So this could creep along and just really annoy people. And I said this a year ago. I said this could just drag on and on and on. That's what happens in a correction. I'm not making it up. It's not my fault either. Don't blame me. I don't want it to happen. Of course, I just want big waves up forever, like everyone else. But I know better than that, that's not going to happen. That's not how nature works. And since we're humans and we're dictated by nature, I know some people will argue, well, it's crypto. It's a new kind of asset class. It's not governed by the same rules as the stock market. Well, yeah, people said that way back here, and then what? I told them it was going to correct the whole time. Go ahead. Bury your head in the sand and stay ignorant. I don't recommend that, but it seems like that's what people like to do. Not the people on this channel, though, of course. All right, enough complaining. Let's move on to SHIB. All right, SHIB is a little different. It doesn't look like a 5-wave pattern up. It looks like a big cup and handle, which I don't usually trade based on that type of shape, but that looks like one, and then it rocketed. But this looks like a 1, 2, 3, doesn't it? I mean, you could... No. If that's not a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because this wave right here is a 1, 2, 3. So these are waves of 3, and they have subwaves of 3. And then we see the corrective shape. And then we've been correcting since way back. Oh, not that long. Oh yeah, it shows SHIB popped off later than Doge. All right, so we've got this huge, massive wave coming down. Looks like a 1, 2. I had this counted out months ago. Go check out my old videos. I don't want to do too detailed of a count and make this super long. I think if we just look at what's going on right now, we're above the, actually, we're right at the 200 EMA. We're still above it. So we got to stay above that. And the thing that bothers me about this SHIB chart, bothers me because I'm holding some, is that this could just double correct. And actually, we're going to look at ZERP next. And ZERP, if you didn't know, is just what I call Ripple. It's just a little inside joke I have. So let's go back and look at ZERP, and let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so that's not necessarily what's going to happen. I don't know. Okay, so you see how Ripple, it looks like Doge back here, or SHIB, I mean. It's never really had a bull market. These are 3 waves. Was this even a bull market back here? Let's see if that was a 5-wave pattern. Okay, yeah, that kind of looks like a 5-wave. It did some like this. And then we've been just correcting. Now, when I was talking about ZERP, or when I was talking about SHIB, look at these charts. See how the beginning, don't you think this right here looks like this? And then it went up and rejected, and it started another correction. And this looks like one of the patterns I mentioned earlier. A, B, C, D, E was the second corrective shape. And then 1, 2, 3 waves. This is not a bull market. The reason I know it's not a bull market, the main reason, is because this wave here and this wave here are overlapping. That cannot happen in a 5 impulse wave going up. So we're still in a correction, and it's hard to say when it'll be over because it could just correct and correct and correct, and it could do a whole nother like shape like it did, you know, like this a few years ago. When it does start impulsing up and making 5 waves going up at some point with subwaves of 5, then we'll know that it's done correcting. Does that make sense? All right, that's it. Remember, trade at your own risk. This is not financial advice. And thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions or comments or want me to do any other analysis on different tokens or even stocks, let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Have an amazing day on purpose. Peace.